What a week we have ahead in the sky with an eclipse coming up on September the 17th, 18th. Mars at the bending of the nodes of fate as we begin this week. But importantly, the beautiful, gorgeous, grand Earth trine forming in our sky that involves Pluto and Capricorn, Uranus and Taurus, and the Sun in Virgo, the last such Earth trine we are going to receive for the rest of our lives. A last in a lifetime Earth trine is at our beck and call. What can we do with it? Resourceful, healthy, financial, earthy success stories are possible. In fact, this Earth trine bakes itself into the eclipse that's happening on Tuesday, Wednesday. It's a really important part of this eclipse story, and I covered that in my eclipse video on Sunday, the 15th. Go back and listen to that kite story. But we're going to narrow down this week to how, starting around Thursday through to next Monday, the Earth trine on its very own is extremely powerful. And with Mercury at home in his Virgo kingdom, keeping watch over the part of the trine that belongs to Virgo, where that sun is anchored, we also know this can bring something good to each of our lives. Resourcefulness, money, earthy matters like the pentacles in the tarot look good on us at the week's end. So we're going to cover that for your sign today, and we're going to skip the eclipse story as a big story because I've covered that in two separate videos, part 1 and 2, covering different aspects of the eclipse cycles in history, how this repeats areas of your life in that eclipse that happened in 2006 to 8 and 1987 to 89. So go watch those two videos for your sign. And also, we're not going to talk about Mars at the bending of the nodes of fate because we're feeling that energy a week before you hear this video, a week after. It's pretty intense in the start of the week, like Monday, Tuesday. And I already covered in my video, that's kind of assassinations, riots, protests, terrorist acts, volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, water calamities, climate extreme disasters, strikes, and airline in Canada where I live is going to be going on strike during this energy. No kidding. So we know what these energies of Mars at the bending of the nodes of fate in the place of Cancer squaring the Aries North Node, Libra South Node bring to pass, because I did the research and I covered what happened in other eras of time. And funny enough, the founding of NATO happened under the same energy that we're experiencing this 2-week period of Mars at the bending of the nodes. And there's a lot of NATO coming into the news cycle right now regarding the Russia-Ukraine story. It doesn't surprise me. But all that aside, we're covering your big, beautiful, grand Earth trine. You feel it baking in to the eclipse, but you really feel it heating up Thursday through Monday. And we're going to talk about how you can use this for being more financially resourceful, more prosperous, more healthy, more grounded, maybe for some of you finding new love. And we'll get into that for you today. So this is really an all about you video. In the beginning, maybe the first 10 minutes, I might address a couple of things about how the election that's happening in the United States is impacted by this week's sky, and it will be, but I'm only going to cover that briefly. I really want to bring this to you, for you, this week ahead. And so welcome to my channel. And if you're new, my name is Lori Luthian, and I'm using the Western Tropical Zodiac and the whole sign house system. I love fixed stars, minor asteroids. We'll be talking about the asteroids today that will be mixed in here, including the asteroid America and the asteroid Zeus. So we'll bring those into the narrative. They're very critically placed in this week's sky. And we'll also be mentioning today a little bit about a couple of the fixed stars in play. One of them particularly intense is Algol, which sits with Uranus. Now, if you are also wanting to learn astrology, this is your once-a-year chance to jump aboard my Sky Reader class. Sky Reader, be your own astrologer and time your best life. We begin that course on the 28th of September, which is a Saturday in my time zone, and it goes till November 2nd. It's once a week for 6 weeks, live calls, Q&A coaching calls, homework, private Facebook group, optional. You don't have to do homework. I got some assistants helping me with all of the Facebook management. So, if I can't catch your, tag me, you can tag me for your homework, but I can't look at everybody, right? So, but you'll have support. And the whole point of it isn't about navel gazing and looking at your chart and going, this is who I am. It's about learning enough of astrology to read your own chart sufficiently and understand the fundamentals of astrology, the language of astrology. So then you can learn some very simple, but really powerful, ancient, not modern, timing tools, although we will cover the basics of transits. Alrighty, so jump aboard, and I've got bonus teachers coming on. I give bonus class classes I'm giving away. And in the description box below, you can see the link to the course curriculum and the direct sign up link. We are still in the early bird timeframe until September 23rd. You want to get the discount price. The code is Sky Reader Early. Sky Reader Early, all caps, but the information is below. Then we go to the regular price for this course, starting on the 23rd to the end of the, to the 28th. So you want to catch the early bird price, you know how to do that. Okay, so let's get talking about this story of the week ahead. I am going to cover how this grand trine makes you a little bit more grounded in the earthy realms of your reality. Oh, that is so weird. It just started recording by itself. I got up and had chocolate. All right, I'm going to show you the sky, and I'm going to give you a peekaboo at what I'm looking at here. And we're going to talk just briefly about the world. And then we're going to go into how this grand trine, Thursday through to Monday, this week ahead, the week of the 6th. What is the week of anyway? I wrote it down. Anyway, the week of, the 16th, which is a Monday, to the 23rd. All right. So number one, this is a chart of Donald Trump in the middle, Kamala Harris on the outside, and the transits at the time of this week's eclipse on the 17th. That's a Tuesday in Pacific Daily Time. Adjust for your time zone, and you'll be able to figure out when the eclipse is happening. Do not look at the eclipse. I explained why in one of my other videos, and it's also out on a short of mine right now, like how to avoid a harm from eclipse. Go look at my shorts on my channel. It's just best to be safe, not sorry, right? So just looking at an eclipse is like you're looking at a portal of darkness, right? Where the light is dimmed and the darkness is there. It's considered to be not a good omen to do magic. It's wild card magic. Don't do charge your crystals and bathe your moon water out there under the light of a lunar eclipse, okay? Just give it a try not to do that. I've got stories from all my clients and myself. The years we chose to watch an eclipse, solar or lunar, our lives went to hell in a handbasket in the months that followed. Just saying. All right, now let's talk about this sky. Donald Trump is in the middle, Kamala in the outside, and the transits on the far, far outside wheel. And what I'm noticing here are a few things to bring up. I know I'm having an election panel. I'm doing a recording with some really lovely astrologers, S.J. Anderson, Adam Ellenboss, a new astrologer I just discovered, a lovely woman, and a card reader. And it's going to be great, guys. So I'm going to do that recording with those people. I might open it up to live. You can come watch us record. Up to 500 people could attend and Q&A and ask questions. But for the most part, that will be coming out, the election panel video, sometime around October 7th or 8th. All right. We're all going to divine who we think is going to win using different tools and showing you why we came to that conclusion. And Adam Ellenboss will be doing horary. He's of Nightlight Astrology. All right. Here we have the sky, and you're going to notice that you'll have some things your eye will be drawn to, right? Everybody's eye is likely, as my eye is drawn to something, be looking at this part of the sky here. Let me annotate. And what we're probably all noticing is this, right? What the heck, eh? Right? What the hell is that? So first of all, just if you were to go on basic synastry between Donald Trump, synastry meaning comparing how each person's planets talk to each other's planets in a relationship chart and how we interact with those people. This is a Mars that belongs right here at 21 degrees of Leo. This is a Mars that belongs to Donald Trump. And you can see that to Kamala Harris, and you can see his Mars is here, right? You know, what happens when you put two soldiers together? Unless they're on the same team, they're in mortal combat. What happens when you put two boxers together? Unless they're on the same team, they're at opposite corners of the ring. These two are meant to duke it out together in this lifetime. That's the way the chart looks for them. And with Mars in Kamala's house of communications, writing, speaking, communicating, and debating, that's a strong Mars for her. His Mars is behind his ascendant, meaning he's not so good at handling his Mars. And we know that he can, I don't care, I don't favor Trump nor Kamala, I'm Canadian for one, but he can get very defensive and take things personally and personally attack others in his win-lose Mars kind of character. Mars is on his ascendant. But also notice that we see here, Kamala Harris's Saturn in Aquarius in her 9th house, by the way, in great dignity, and her Mars both square Trump's midheaven. And that makes it very, very challenging for him to hold on to his high noon career in the face of her planetary strength. which means that she has the upper hand energetically in the sky. I know a lot of Vedic astrologers, by the way, are favoring Trump. I'm not sure, but I will tell you why I think there is a refrainment from a decision on the election or a delay in the election, and we'll get to that in a minute. But to me, if I look at the fact that Kamala's natal Saturn and Mars are squaring Trump's midheaven, well, of course, and his IC, creating a grand cross, and this is where he lives, and right now it's the White House, there's every indication that she's a formidable opponent. And not to predict yet, I'm waiting for the election panel. There's a lot of crazy wild card chaos going on with eclipses like October 2nd in the orb of the influence of this October 2nd solar eclipse, and this lunar eclipse really close to the election. We can see some kerfuffles here. There's no doubt about it. But what I want to talk about was this. Uranus is up here on Algol, and that was Uranus on Algol, the fixed star for corpses and beheading and off with their head, when Mars was co-joined Algol on July the 15th. And a couple of days before, Donald Trump was almost assassinated, almost lost his head, because it's on his midheaven. And that's his very visible public part of the sky. It's also the portal to heaven and the afterlife. He almost got killed. But it also is that Algol Mars conjunction in July squared his ascendant and his own Mars, which could bring harm to his body. I did a video on the asteroid Angel transiting over Trump's ascendant at the time of the shooting, and I thought, like, guardian angel, right? He also has the god Apollo, the sun god, on his ascendant. These are minor asteroids, and giving him a natural ability to rise to leadership, but also, we've got that chaotic Mars Algol energy that kicked up an assassination attempt against him. So one thing to note is that Mars will go back through the sign of Leo and will make it to the 6th degree of Leo, but will be in Leo, which is his first house, Donald Trump's first house. Mars will travel through Leo and will actually station pretty close to his natal Pluto, within 4 degrees. So Mars will be in Leo from November the 4th through till January the 6th, stationing around December 6th retrograde. But in general, when Mars is in the first house of a person's chart, it can cause injury and harm to the body and the person, right? Just want to note that he's not out of harm's way yet. And November 4th through to January 6th, he's still at peril, because of course also Uranus is going to go back and touch down directly on Algol yet again. And so we see him continually in perhaps physical harm. Mars can bring inflammation, heart attacks, things to do with cardiovascular problems, especially because Leo rules the heart. And that's his story. But when it comes to this energy up here, I would note, what about Kamala's retrograde Jupiter in her 12th house of backroom deals and negotiations and hidden variables? It means that she could depose his power. Jupiter is the king on his midheaven. She could depose his kingship or his royal throne of presidency, but she's doing it from Uranian, so shocking or surprising developments. And of course, we saw that she got shunted into the top spot when Joe Biden stepped away, and everybody was surprised that was going to happen. Well, everybody was surprised if you weren't watching Joe's cognitive decline over the last year or two. But most of us who watched that weren't surprised at all. But if you watch mainstream media, you wouldn't have noticed it, right? They edited that stuff out, and or legacy media, call it what you want. And also, the energy of the 12th house is why I think a lot of people have a sticky, icky feeling about this election. I mean, Kamala was basically donor moneyed into the spot, and there was no real DNC, no chance for any other contender like RFK or Jill Stein to perhaps even contend for taking the spot that Kamala got. She was just given it to her. And that icky, sticky feeling that some people feel, not just, some people are like, great woman of color, but how she got there is a little bit underhanded or whatever, because that 12th house Jupiter of hers, it is about how she can achieve power through secretive and backroom and stealthy means that aren't in the public eye. And I'm not suggesting she did that. It may have been done to her, for her, and she was just had to go along with the ride. But that's a story. I would note that this is what this looks like for me. And the reason we're bringing this up is because of the eclipse week ahead. We have this eclipse that's happening. Let's clear the drawings. We have the eclipse, and the eclipse is coming into the sky, and it's at 20 on Tuesday, Wednesday in Pisces, the first opening act of eclipses that will come through this part of the sky in 2025 into 2026. 3 more eclipses in Pisces, all of them lunar, all of them lunar. And there's a probability of a stock market downdraft from this, connected to the same themes that happened 87 to 89 and 2006 to 2008. Those were all housing crisis, economic crisis, recession, stock market drops. And we're going to see likely that again. Okay, just very likely. But what I like to notice here for you guys is that if you think about this eclipse, where it is occurring, right up here, this moon with Neptune, by the way, and Saturn, but the moon is eclipsed. It's no longer full. It's a partial eclipse in this part of the sky. How does that impact our 2 characters in the story of this story of reality? Let's show you that without overlapping the 2 charts, because a lot of people will find that confusing. The eclipse is happening right here, right here for Donald Trump. This is the house of death. It's also the house of chunky money or other people's financial resources. And so the eclipse is happening at 25 degrees of this part of the sky, and it does flow to his midheaven, making us suspect it can't be all that harmful toward him. And in fact, under most normal circumstances, I'd say this probably isn't harmful for him, that he's somehow going to be able to just ride the wave of destined change, to ride the karmic wave of change that this eclipse is bringing into the reality of our sky. But when we see an eclipse in the 8th house is a deeply karmic house. It is the most karmic house of your chart. And so all of a sudden, he's in the thrall and the throes of karmatic narratives. And this eclipse squares his sun and his north node. And that's a very powerful, difficult energy to have that eclipse in a square relationship, right? A 9-degree angle to shock and awe Uranus, north node of fate, and his sun, of course, as well as squaring his south node and his moon. His moon happens to be on the star Shallah, the stinger on the tail of the Scorpion. It's about poison. Now, he's had a lot of poison stuff happen in the 5th house when it comes to secret love affairs and Stormy Daniels, and he gets stung by the scorpion's tail when it comes to sexcapades and his inappropriate sexual stuff and all the whispers about Epstein Island. I'm not saying it's true. And so the sting for him has usually been that. But the moon is definitely prone to being challenged in this particular eclipse, as that radiates energy towards his moon that is hard. And the moon can represent our vital force energy, and the sun can represent our vitality. And he looks like he may be physically challenged by the 8th house eclipse. So I'm going to put that into the ethers. Donald Trump will be physically challenged from this eclipse that happens on the 6th, 17th, 18th, depends on your time zone, and begin to unfold those eclipse wings outward at least a minimum of 3 months after, maybe 6. Okay, we'll leave it at that. What about Kamala Harris in this story? Let's put her chart in here. How does this eclipse impact her? And a quick reminder, we are seeing as well in the sky the movement of Pluto backwards retrograde into Donald Trump's house of sickness, where he will station direct on October 11th and finally leave the 29th degree on the 19th of November. This is the god of death in the house of sickness, or the house of bad fortune for Donald Trump. So Pluto's last gasp in that part of his sky, been there since 2008, powered him up in work, flowed to his midheaven, gave him the apprentice, gave him all the power to become a president. But this is the 29th karmic, anaretic, difficult, turbulent degree of Capricorn. And it is something that he could find bouncy, difficult, like riding a really bumpy dirt ride bike or something, and it could really challenge his physical health. And I've seen so many ways in the sky that I can tell you he's not in good shape, cardiovascularly perhaps, or health. Now, yes, he was almost assassinated, and I'd always be suspicious of any kind of cardiovascular event. Not that I'm like a paranoid conspiracy theorist, but I might be, because there's a lot of ways someone can die of apparent cardiovascular problems, and they may not be natural causes. And then we're going to move into Kamala quickly, and then all signs. Kamala Harris is here. And I'm covering the election stuff, and I'll be covering Israel, Putin, Ukraine as well, and the Canadian election in future videos. But this is really, really what I want to talk about now, because we're steamrolling into a US election. And so it's important. And I do talk about a lot about the Gaza, Israel, Ukraine, Russia in other videos. So I know I'm going to get comments why we're always talking about the election in the US. 50% of my viewers are American and another 10% are Canadian. So a lot of North American followers here. Alrighty. And here's Kamala Harris. And what is happening is there's an eclipse up here in her natal 10th house. Now, there is some evidence, and I'll be bringing on my guest panelists to talk about that when people have eclipses in the midheaven area or the 10th house and they're running for office, they quite often win. So I'm just going to pass it on, but we'll be talking about that on a panel when she demonstrates, my astrologer, new recruit, demonstrates how she came to this research. And so there is an eclipse at 25 degrees of Kamala's 10th house of reputation, career, ascendancy, social status, and public standing. And it's a north node, so it expands things up there. It kind of creates more worldly success wherever Rahu goes. And this may look really good on her, and it may not be that damaging at all. And it does flow very beautifully to her backroom deals and negotiations and secret agreements, Neptune. So again, not causing any harm there at all. And so the only concern I do have about it, of course, is it does square her ascendant and her nodes of fate. And so the nodal square is challenging. Both Trump and Kamala have this eclipse squaring the nodes of fate. They both have their nodes in the Gemini and Cancer, Sagittarius axis in the same direction, north node in Gemini and South Node in Sag. So for both of them, especially with Kamala's lot of fortune here, her fortunes come through other people, fortune through marriage, fortune through partnership. She was a running mate for Joe Biden, fortune through others. So wealth, success, etc. And through Jupiter, who rules a lot of fortune, a lot of her fortunes come through backroom deals and negotiations. And if we were to perfect from the lot of fortune this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, this eclipse is happening in the 4th house from the lot of fortune. And so there may be elements to do with her private life, her secret life, her home life that get revealed or excavated. She has the asteroid scandal in her 8th house of secrets. And so there's a lot of potential for something blowing up around her in the 3 months after this eclipse that could wound her reputation, because Chiron at 14 degrees, right, is not too far off from that 25-degree eclipse. It is a 9-degree orb. I'm going to count it. So a wound to her reputation while she's running for office is what I'm seeing here as a result of the 3 months after this eclipse. There's a lot of chatter, and I'm not saying I agree, and I'm not spreading gossip, but there's a lot of people who think that she has an alcohol problem. I'm not saying she does or she does not. And the asteroid Dionysus sits with her Venus here, and the asteroid Bacchus sits with her Sun. And those are asteroids of divine intoxication, but also wine and the fermented beverage, and how we can lose ourselves into altered states of consciousness. And who the hell doesn't want to these days? Remember the pandemic, everybody went to the wine store daily. Well, I mean, she may use wine as a coping mechanism or alcohol or not, but if there's something that comes out about that, that could be a scandal. It could be, it may not be, but this eclipse is directly opposite Dionysius. So her Dionysius is in the 20s, maybe 26 degrees of Virgo, opposite the lunar eclipse in their house of reputation. So I wouldn't put it past the situation to be something to do with her love life or her private imbibing of pleasurable substances that create intoxication, to be also some scandal energy or some wounding to her reputation, that kind of thing. It doesn't have to be she's caught falling down or gets driving under the influence. I doubt she'd be that reckless, but maybe some people from her past are, tell-alls or something like that. Who knows? So let's go ahead and stop the share and remind you, we're going to do your sign. You're going to listen for your sun sign if you're talking about your career and your reputation, and also your eternal nature and your core essential self. You're going to listen to your moon sign if you're talking about your body, your prana, your chi, the thing that keeps you alive. When the spirit leaves the body at death, that's your prana chi. That's the moon energy. The sublunar sphere is about the material realm. It's about the body and your resources, including your home. So listen for that for the moon. The moon is also your mother or mother figures. And by the way, the sun is also your father and father figures. And the rising sign is you and the character of life. If you want to think about it this way, perhaps you would say, the sun is your eternal nature playing the character in the game of life. In other words, the avatar of your rising sign is you, in the game simulation of life. And the sun is the one who plays it, or the actor is the sun, and the character in the screenplay or the movie is the ascendant. And what animates the whole thing is the moon, the animating factor. I find that I listen to my rising and my sun, and I get very accurate depictions. The moon is more, I find, how I might be really feeling about the sky, how my mind body complex interprets reality. Is it negative, positive? Is it peaceful? Is it agitated? So you go ahead and listen to all three and let me know what you think, and find over time which of the three delineations is most accurate on the most common framework for you. If you don't know your rising sign, I've got a little tutorial called How to Cast Your Chart in Whole Sign Houses and Why. It's free. Go to the bottom of my More button, scroll down the description box all the way to the bottom. My free gifts are there, free classes, free stuff. I got freebies galore. And when you want to do your chart, use whole sign houses because you can use it for Time Lord delineations that are useless in Placidus. And I don't find Placidus makes sense in my chart either. I'll be doing a video one day on YouTube explaining why, if you try whole sign houses, you probably won't go back. You'll need a birth time in order to cast your chart, in order to find your rising sign. So you'll need a birth time for that. If you don't have a birth time, then ask your mom, family, find a birth certificate, or get your chart rectified. I do recommend Patrick Watson for rectification these days. I think he's still doing them. Go Google him as an astrologer. He may be able to rectify the chart for you. All right, rectify meaning we're going to figure out through all of your life events, we're going to figure it all out, what your birth time might be. I do rectifications, but I don't have time anymore. And it's a very long and cumbersome and very detail-oriented process. And I'm not a Virgo. It's not my happy place. Oh, sorry. We don't need to see that again. I'm bringing us over to the other sky. Give me a minute. That's just my software we're going over to next. And we're going to roll through your sign. And I hope you enjoyed this, guys. And if you're in that live premiere listing, or you're watching it later and you haven't hit my like button or subscribe, would you do that? It really does help the channel grow, and it helps me thrive in my business. And this is my livelihood. It's not a hobby. So if you really are into what I'm doing here, then if you would subscribe, it would be useful and helpful to me, and like and share and all the goodies of the way we work on the YouTube stories. All right, here we go. Let's start with Aries. So here we have our software, Astrology. If anyone asked me for a Mac, it's pretty damn good. It's simpler than SolarFire for non-Mac. And here we are. So first of all, let's just remind ourselves of what I mentioned. We have a grand Earth trine forming. It gets more intense Thursday through to Monday. And you can see as we start on September 16th, which is Monday, there is already the Earth trine formation. And I'm going to outline it for you guys. I'm going to give me an outliner here, my annotations. And the thing about it is a part of a kite, and you can see the kite with the eclipse, right? But I don't really want to focus on the eclipse because I've got the video on that. And this Earth trine will have a standalone. It will be like kite free. It'll be its own master as we approach this weekend coming up. And so I really want to just anchor in what it means to have such a beautiful Earth trine, and the last in a lifetime Earth trine, because with Pluto going back into a Capricorn for the last time, and for leaving mid-November, we can't get an Earth trine with Pluto involved again in our lifetimes. And Uranus in a couple of years is about to leave Taurus for damn good as well. And we won't get that in 2026. And so this is like getting into that territory of something we've all been experiencing on the regular. Every year we get an Earth trine between Pluto, Uranus, and the Sun in this formation, Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus. And we've been having those trines occur since roughly 2008. We all got used to it. It's an energy in each of our lives based on a rising sign that we're familiar with on the yearly, in Virgo season, in September, the Sun is in Virgo during the time of the third week of August to the third week of September. So once a year, third week of August, the third week of September for the last, since 2008, we had some version of this. Now, it wasn't always perfect because Pluto and Uranus move at different speeds. And so the exact, times and days and whenever is not important. It's just that we've had this energy percolating through our sky as a rhythmic pulse. And in Indian astrology, they don't care about the aspectual relationship. They'd say a Sun in Virgo, a Pluto in Capricorn, and a Uranus in Taurus is a whole sign in ancient astrology, whole sign trine. And in Vedic astrology, it's just a trine. So these Earth trines have been coming up on the yearly in the time of year in the Western tropical zodiac that is Virgo season. Right. So there we go. And all you Virgo sun, moon, and risings have been benefiting from this every fall, every third week of August to third week of September since 2008. And also, so have the Capricorn sun, moon, and risings been benefiting. And so have the Tauruses, because you are in a flowing earth trine relationship to the story. Obviously, right now it's the later born sun, moon, and rising. Later borns like 25 to 29 Capricorn, 25 to 29 Taurus, 25 to 29 of Virgo, who get the most juice out of the squeeze here of this beautiful trine. So the earlier borns were getting it earlier, 2008 to 2014, and then 2014 to 2020 were the middle range people in these signs of Virgo, Capricorn, and Uranus and Taurus. Okay. But it doesn't really matter if your degree is precise to this or close. It's just more intense if it is. You're still feeling it happening in your chart. Okay. It's still there for you. It hasn't gone anywhere. So this is your last gasp, last chance to capitalize on it. Now, I did say earlier that we have another thing happening this week, and I will show it to you as well. I like to be very doodly these days. I don't know what the doodle bug has gotten me, but it makes me happy when I'm doodling. So I doodle to make my job fun. So what we have here is Mars. He's at 6 degrees on Sunday at the bending of the nodes of fate. So by the time we move to Monday, he's a little bit coming off of that. And that's a very rare thing, happened in like very different time frames. 2006 was one of them. I had them written down in one of my note files because I've been doing videos everywhere, every day. But, go watch my Mars at the Bending of the Nodes of Fate video for this, okay? The point is, 1949, I tracked the times this happened. I looked at the obvious stories. It had endings to war. I loved it. This Bending of the Nodes of Fate, I saw endings of war. So wars did end under this influence, just so you know, because it is squaring the North Node in the sign of war and the South Node in the sign of peace, Libra, and a leaking of peace, a loss of peace. That's what was going on in our life since the Ukraine-Russia thing is still percolating, but this is really very much a Middle Eastern war story. The nodes are in the place where they started the Middle Eastern war back in 2023 fall. And so we may see a change, of course, in the Middle East during this week ahead, because Mars is in orb of the nodes of fate through to the end of this week, as he was the week before. Okay, so more stories about war, unfortunately, shootings, assassinations, violent eruptions of volcanoes, tsunamis, hurricanes, tidal waves, earthquakes. Give me some bad weather, everybody. With Mars and water, it's likely involving water, flooding. It is also associated with very big historical flooding. And the times this has occurred before. And it happens every 18 years, right? So it's every 18 years Mars does this story in the sky. And strikes, protests, civil unrest, coup d'etat, those things. The Ayatollah Khomeini, the whole coup d'etat thingy that happened in Iran was a part of one of these cycles. So it is likely we could see some of those overthrows of people in power. And I don't know how secure Netanyahu is these days. I don't think I could see a coup there, but I mean, it looks like he can be toppled for a lot of reasons in the next 3 months. I won't go into that now. I'll do a separate chart on his gnarly solar return chart for his birthday of October 21st. And the last thing I want to say about the sky is this. We do see some minor asteroids here, but what I want to point out, I didn't put Zeus in here, but trust me, it's Pluto and it's America and it's Zeus. And what I covered about this combination of energies, what I covered about it, and it's a part of the trine, what I covered about it in my video that I put out on Sunday about the eclipse is it's happening in the United States capital, Washington, D.C., when Capricorn falls in the United States chart in a very difficult place that is the house of death. It looks like the United States, it's an Eastern horizon, Sagittarius rising at the exact time of the eclipse, the Pisces full moon eclipse, and it squarely lands Pluto, Zeus, and the asteroid America in the house of death, the 8th house of death, in the capital city of the United States of America. Zeus means king or leader. Pluto is power, America. There is a fall of power connected to an American leader in the house of death coming off of that eclipse. And that eclipse kind of bakes in the next 3 months. So is it Joe Biden? Possibly. He's under a lot of pressure. Solar arc, Pluto opposite his moon, transiting Pluto squaring his moon. He's got the full moon that happened in Aquarius squaring his sun at 27 degrees of Scorpio. He's under a lot of intensity. He's got Uranus traveling over Algol, decapitation, opposite his sun. Sun is vitality, but sun is the part of him that's career and leader. So he's got more like downside to him between now and let's say January than upside. And it looks like more disturbances of his narrative, and possibly he could step away from power, and Kamala will have to rise to power based on what I'm seeing and take over the presidency because he's ill. And this has been also part of a cycle that has occurred before in the sky with a similar type of sky with US presidents. And I did another video about why this is replicating the same story of a sitting president relinquishing power, even if shortly, only for a short time. But this might be a longer time. So I expect to see some problems with Joe Biden. And finally, we're going to do your sign. I promise. And a quick note to file about this story. One more thing. You have to remember that this week ahead's grand trine is anchoring a star that can be challenging. Algol is where things get like out of control, like off with their heads, like Marie Antoinette, or the guillotines, beheadings, corpses and bodies and destruction and darker stories like that. And we have some other asteroids playing out in the sky as well this week that connect to those themes, as well as some stars. And I'm not going to actually do all that again because I talked about that in my eclipse video that came out on Sunday, the day before this Monday's video. So instead, I'm just going to say, I feel like the sky looks for the world at large more difficult this week ahead than good. The bending of the nodes, Mars, the energy of the eclipse, some of the stars that can bring catastrophe. One of them is Alkaid, the star of female mourners. The other one is connected to large calamities and misfortunes, murder as well. So, and it's in my Sunday video, so I'd rather not belabor that. Let's go ahead and do this all signs, because this is not your story. This is the world. The world is not you. You're just a person in the world. So your story is about Earth and the great Earth trine that's forming at the end of the week. We have some other midweek things. I'm not going to talk about it for very long. We do have during the eclipse itself and into Wednesday, we're going to see that Mercury will end up exactly opposite Saturn. It's not a good day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, for that important email, phone call, or conversation, because there's coldness, constraint, restriction, limitation around conversations, communication, and writing, and emails and phone calls can go a little bit into a place of heavy hardship. And I would stay away from those if you can choose not to do those on those days. If you don't want to send that most important job application or email out, don't do it on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You're baking in the negative or difficult or challenging Mercury opposite Saturn archetypal energy. Now, as we move also forward, we get the sun in a trine to Uranus, but that's a part of the grand trine. And that's what we're going to cover next. So let's move into the grand trine narrative. Let's make the sky show you what it looks like when we get forward by a few days, and the triangle in the middle will get nice and dark. It'll get darker, all right, darker. So when we get to, let's say, Saturday, the 21st, Sunday, so it's waning. So it's really nice and bright or darker on Saturday. So we'll go with Saturday being the epicenter of the trine. Give it like 3 days before. Let's go Thursday to even early next week, Tuesday, for this trine to be a part of your sky story. And obviously you can see where the trine is. Hopefully this is obvious too. There's a big grand triangle here. And yes, it's a part of a kite. Yes, it's a part of a kite. I might touch on that a little bit more, but I covered a lot of the meaning of the kite already. And I really almost want to just say, look at this Earth trine. Let's just focus on the Earth trine. What is it really about? And how can you benefit from this last in a lifetime Pluto-infused Earth trine? Let's start with Aries. Aries, sun, moon, and rising sign. Having this beautiful Earth trine for the last in a lifetime with Pluto's support is giving you the chance to really power up something quite significant in your career, because Pluto in that social standing, career, and reputation, and the visible actions you take in the world house is saying power, riches, domination, is a part of what you want to accomplish. And it's your big last shift of energy here. You've been working this energy since 2008, and you're supported by Uranus in your second house. Now, Uranus is in the second house, a riches to rags and rags to riches transit, that you may be feeling that your money has gone way up, your savings are earning stuff, and way down in shocking and surprising and erratic ways. Think of staccato energy in music. Think of erratic ups and downs and unpredictability in the money earning story since 2018 as Uranus first ingressed here. And so you may now look at this as coming to a close. Uranus is leaving in a couple of years, full in 2026 for good, but also consider that you can go through an incredible upswing in your financial situation. Why? Because Algol is also a wealth star, and we have a wealth star connected to an exalted moon in your second house of savings, earnings, money, resources, all the things you need for your food, shelter, and water, flowing to a Plutonian power up in your career and reputation, flowing to a Mercury sun, Mercury in domicile, helping that sun rise up for you, a Mercury sun energy powering you up to work success. This is also really good for dramatic changes in your health connected to changes of dietary style. And I just started the AIP protocol a bit more than a week ago, autoimmune protocol, and I've never felt better. I realized I was eating foods that are inflammatory. I have autoimmune disorders too, and I feel like my life is changing by getting off of those foods. So this is like where if you wanted to change your food style under the energy of this trine, which has been building already for a week or two, you can do that and find profound vitality and renewal of health as a result of this. And there may be the possibility for the sudden opportunity to buy a pet or rent a new property coming off of this Earth trine because of Mars in the fourth house, flowing to the house of rental and rental contracts, the sixth house. This is also a narrative or a sudden opportunity for a pet coming into your life because it wants to bring you resources, earthy, tangible things. My home, I rent a home, my pet who lives with me, my health is better, and your work is astounding. This is a time to use this trine this week ahead by doing things, especially get past that Wednesday. So we're going to go because I don't like the Saturn Mercury opposition. Thursday of this week ahead. Okay. What is that date? Thursday. Thursday would be someone tell me the date. I should have I had a little chart in front of me and I left it behind. Where did it go? Eek, eek, eek. Oh, guys, I lost it. Okay. Okay. Whatever it is. Thursday the 19th. Thursday the 19th. Okay. Through to, let's go, even Tuesday the 24th. We're under the influence of this beautiful Earth trine. Let me double check that. I might lose the trine by then. So let's see. What day does it end? Yeah, it kind of ends here. So we got it. No, so I recap that. So we recap. Because I don't like the out of sign sun. So we really got this energy going Thursday through to Saturday, kind of closing down on Sunday, Thursday to Saturday, just for your time zone. And really do things on Thursday to Saturday that are like really important for your career and your money. And they're going to flow and they're going to go very, very well. And they'll bake in a beautiful power for your increase. And if you have a career that involves marketing, selling, or writing, or things to do with the internet, this is also really good. Those kinds of career endeavors can really become quite significantly successful by initiating them this week ahead. And how to use it. I try to give you ways to use the sky. Oh, I'm going by days. Apologize. We're going to go on to the next sign. And the next sign is Aries. Taurus, sun, moon, and rising. Oh God, guys, don't even ask. Taurus, sun, moon, and rising sign. Well, Taurus, look at this. Beautiful trine being most tightly activated on Saturday. But I'm going to take Neptune out of there. I really don't want to talk about Neptune. I just want to make it all about the trine because it's its own thing. It doesn't always have to hang its hat on, it doesn't have to hang its hat, right, on the kite part of the story. It really doesn't. I covered the kite already in the eclipse video. All right, let's just focus on the trine visually. So this beautiful trine is going to activate your sky if you happen to be a Taurus, sun, moon, or rising sign in a way that you feel very healthy, very well mentally and emotionally. And with an exalted moon on Uranus, you're really coming into some level of new surprise about how you feel about your body, because not only the moon is the body because it's the sublunar sphere and represents the animating force, but the ascendant itself can represent the body. If it's your Taurus sun, it's about your career. And if your Taurus moon or ascendant, it can be about the character you play, the mind, the body, and you're having an elevation of mind and emotions and body and feeling really good Thursday through Saturday when this trine is active. And possibly with the peak of the triangle being in the last in a lifetime ninth house Pluto, with a last in the lifetime sun in the fifth house, you're really feeling aligned with purpose, because all of these houses are about your purpose and your dharma and the reason for being on the planet. An elevation regarding higher education, a finalizing of success in higher education, an elevation regarding book publishing and foreign shores and travel and visas and legal and court matters to the final completion zone of something. Now, it is Pluto. He's not Mr. Nice Guy. I'm not saying it's always wonderful. It could be a very high escalation ending around something to do with legal, judges, courts, higher education, and book publishing that may also be really death and rebirth. A phoenix rises for you there, right? But it's still going to benefit you. And you've been experiencing the energy anyway. Really, you've been experiencing the energy most acutely with Uranus here in your Taurus house since 2018. I should have said that right at the beginning. So this trine energy has been flowing through your sky from 2018 until now, and you've been getting used to it. Now it's leaving. So I might just put a little correction notice at the top of my video saying 2018. But yeah, because we need Uranus' support. Now, this grand Earth trine energy also activates something else for you. With your fifth house, anybody here who's thinking of having children or wanting to be pregnant, or you're in a relationship where pregnancy matters, could indeed experience with the moon for mother or, mothering, a sudden, shocking, surprising pregnancy, especially for the female egg bearers out there. This can be a week, if you're trying to conceive, wonderful, but for conception to happen, that would be like Thursday through to Saturday. And you also, if you have children already, this week can bring good things to your children or your interaction with your children as well. Pluto at the top of the sky is offering powerful support from anybody you would consider a guide or a mentor or a teacher or a coach as well, especially when it comes to creative talents that you have or entrepreneurial ideas. These are fifth house matters related to Pluto. And if you wanted to travel, and you may have the opportunity to plan a trip or take a trip to a foreign land for leisure travel, romantic travel, or with your children. And this, again, is somehow the last in a lifetime. It's consolidating the 2018 to 2008 time period. I don't know how I'm going to fix that on this video. I might put a little intro blurb in the beginning and mash two videos together. I don't know if I'll have time. So enjoy your grand trine, last in a lifetime. See what you can do with it. How would I do this? I start a creative project. I'd launch an online business. I'd apply for a higher educational school. I'd plan that long distance trip. I'd submit something to the court for consideration. I'd have my lawyer petition the judge. I do things that could connect to those themes where I would like to experience some radical and exciting success. Oh, buy a lottery ticket. Games of chance, gaming, lotteries, winning money, Mercury sun, fifth house, Mercury being the guy who rules mercantile and merchandise. Go get a ticket. Know your limit, play within it, but it could give you some wealth from a ticket connected to also ninth house matters. Then government institutions. So they're the one who give you the money in these big government run lotteries. And Gemini, sun, moon, and rising sign, the sky opens up in this way, a beautiful grand earth trine. The earth trine says to you something along the lines of, how would you like to prosper? How would you like to level up in your chunky money? Where Pluto is sitting, that's that money you're not earning. It's your investments, your stocks, your residual income, your advertising income, things that are making money while you sleep, passive sales, royalty income, money with your spouse, or inheritance money, right? Or divorce settlement money. So the eighth house monies, insurance payouts, tax rebates, these monies are amplified Thursday through to Saturday, connected as well to money you may get from foreign shores, foreign lands, and foreign entities or foreign people, especially if you make money online because your income is digital and it's borderless income. And an exalted moon, some surprising uplifts and that kind of money. But also with the Mercury thing down here, the Mercury Sun story, there's an anchoring here in the fourth house. Now, this can be your home, property, land, real estate, Mercury, buy, sell, purchase, or something you're communicating in and from the home in a career direction can really light you up in this gorgeous triangle. And you just might find yourself really sailing into new opportunities financially. And for some of you, look at it as well as legacy wealth from a father figure. And it can be any kind of male that you think is old enough to consider fatherly towards you, maybe giving you some money or getting some money from that person Thursday through to Saturday is a possibility for you. Now, I mean, things to do with your home. It could be buying a home, selling a home, and that also levels up your finances, or refinancing a home, or paying off a debt connected to mortgages or home is possible. Venus is in Libra in your money luck house, and so you can get some money luck around this time as well. You are lucky anyway. Jupiter's in your sign all the way through till next June, so you may as well ride the wave of luck for all of you Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising, as this whole Jupiter story continually gives you a Midas touch through to next year. Now we're moving into the next sign, which is Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Hey, Cancer. This is a sky that since 2018, when Uranus entered into Taurus and Pluto was in Capricorn, you've been having a whole sign Earth trine energy playing out here. So you kind of got used to this vibe every time Mercury was in, Sun and Mercury were in Virgo season, each August, September. And it's always opened up doors here to some extent for you in parts of the chart that are relational and about ideas and communication. Those are your houses 11 and 3 and house 7. For some of you Cancers, especially with Mars here, crossing through your first house, you're very decisive right now, very not suffering fools gladly, willing to snip and end things in your marriage house, in your career space, and in your home life. And that's something to note, that you've got this very long Mars transit. But this week, Thursday through to Saturday, things to do with your marriage partnership and your business partners and your clients and audience here deliver a huge oomph for you, a good oomph around wealth and power. And you may attract a new powerful client, or your partner may be figuring strongly on your agenda, your love partner, Thursday through to Saturday. An exalted moon accompanies Uranus on Saturday. So we're building to that more perfected trine. And there's a real sweet spot here around potential windfalls, or feeling like you got some money flowing to you from a friend or an ally or one sibling, one older than you. Like they're going to give you some money and we're going to get some benefits from those people. And it surprises you, right? Or you get some surprises in the work and earnings story where you get more money coming off the earnings from your 10th house than you ever expected to have happen, because Uranus, Moon are on a wealth star, Algol, and is a trine. So it's trying to bring you something good, not shock you for no reason. And so it's a more pleasant surprise, right? And the sun down here with Mercury in the third house, indicating also connection to extended family, younger sibling, one younger, aunts, uncles, nieces, and cousins, local neighbors and neighborhood environment, but also the online world. This is about writing. You may have a sudden idea for writing something, and you might find yourself totally taken us. Oh my God, because you just know in your heart of hearts it will be a profitable idea. But Mercury and the sun down here could also be news, emails, phone calls, and texts from siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, or neighbors and childhood friends that come blasting through your sky Thursday through Saturday, surprising you in a positive, grounded, and earthy way. If you want to travel, and you want to travel for some reason connected to those extended family members or with your spouse, this is also an unexpected, exciting travel opportunity blasting open Thursday through to Saturday. How do you use this energy? Well, if you want to start a writing project, launch an online YouTube channel or Instagram or some social media thing, go start a new course of study or launch a course that you wish to teach. These things look great on Thursday through to Saturday. So use it or lose it. It's also good for signing legal contracts or deals, especially connected to creative projects, writing projects, or entrepreneurial projects for you as you approach Thursday, and gets most intense on Saturday. And we're going to move into the next sign, which is Leo. How do you use a beautiful Earth trine that's been kind of half-assed happening since 2018 every year to 2024 as the last trine like this, with Pluto at the top of your sky? Well, not top of the sky, sorry, with Uranus at the top of your sky and Pluto in your sixth house. First of all, this is Artha, or work houses, money and work, right? This is houses 2. I like drawing, just makes me happy. 2, 6, and 10. So it's all about that savings, earnings, money, resources, work, career, and job. It can be about food style and health as well. So let's go with the basic meaning. Thursday through Saturday, you're going to have some unexpected, exalted surprises in your career and reputation and public standing. Are you retired? What do? You golf? Do you go to the soup kitchen? You're a student? You go to school? People see you doing something in the visible part of the world. That's your reputation, social standing, social, things, success. So what do people see you doing? That's going to have an element of surprise Thursday through Saturday, positive surprise, with an exalted moon, super positive surprise. And it also connects you, Leo, to your second house, Mercury. There could be a new job opportunity, a new job offer, a new job application coming your way. Sun is career down there with Mercury, negotiating, speaking, interviewing, talking. Unexpected surprises. You get the job, you get the interview, all of that. And then Pluto, it's just the last bit of power you're going to experience. He's been here since 2008, but those Earth trines like this with Uranus have been happening since 2018. It's the last bit of like intense transformational, phoenix rising from ashes, energetic in the house of work and health. You're under a sky that says change your health through changing your dietary food style and eliminating addictions because of Mars here. It is your time to cut out the addictions. What goes in the nose and mouth that's not good for you, cut it out. You can do it Thursday through Saturday in surprising ways. And for you, I suggest hypnosis, especially because of Neptune's placement in the kite. So getting rid of those addictions is your turning point as a Leo, but also work. So this kind of Pluto, Uranus, moon, it could look like a beautiful opportunity to increase your power or wealth, or your standing in your company or your own business, rising up to greater power. And that looks really good on you. I just think you're going to feel like something blessed happens in your work environment. If you're in a job, it gets better. If you're looking for a job, you get one. If you're looking for an application interview, a process to start up, should do it during this time. It'll all look so wonderful on you. Alrighty, let's go on to the next sign, and we'll move through this in a timely manner today. Now, you notice a lot of my videos have gotten really long. Actually, YouTube algorithm loves it because they reward duration of views, like how long people watch. But, not every time can I do it that long. Virgo, sun, moon, and rising sign. It is a sky that opens up a door of you benefiting from this energy most acutely since 2018 as Uranus moved into Taurus, but Pluto's also been in Capricorn since 2008. But let's go with it. The Earth trine, whole sign trine every August, September. You've been experiencing this beautiful glow up for a few days with, the vibe. This is the last in a lifetime, of course, because Pluto cannot come back to Capricorn for another 248 years. In essence, you are the one who's got all the power here, because Mercury is always close to the sun and they're together here in this trine. You have ideas, your speaking power is amplified, your ideas of speaking and communicating, writing, thinking is on huge amount of yay, and the sun amplifies that and makes it really on purpose, especially around career matters, and also very full of light and vitality. Yes, you can say Mercury is under the beams of the sun, but then he's taking orders from the sun. And so this energy is beautiful for you. And it tells me that you're on your mental game, but you're going deep within to find what the deepest source of your ideas and what you wish to communicate is. You're in touch with the more divine intelligence within the sky. And you also will notice that the moon will have to take it back a day. Well, I don't have to. Trust me, I'll move it in a minute. The moon is actually here, exalted in Taurus with Uranus at the time of Saturday. You're feeling that building up, of course, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. That's the energy of those 3 days. And it's a what surprises or unexpected developments could happen to you that are positive, that require you to pay attention to foreign shores, foreign lands, visas, passports, and travel, court and legal matters and judges, academic and academic settings, foreign travel. I think I said that, and success, a surprising success in third marriages. Woohoo! And over here, third long-term committed cohabitational love, and over here is Pluto in the house of babies, children, fertility, and entrepreneurial and creative endeavors and romance. So if you're single, you can meet somebody new because you're traveling abroad and you fall in love with someone who's got powerful intensity. It's Plutonian, and you go deep and deep into the emotions and the connection of that relationship. But if you're already with somebody, it deepens that relationship. This could indicate big, powerful intensities that are positive and surprising around children and grandchildren. Children, 5th house, grandchildren, 9th house. Oh my God, I'm going to be a grandma or grandpa. Some of you Virgos will have that happen if you're of the age for that to be possible. You can get money luck. It's a house of good fortune, and lotteries and winning money is the 5th house, and Pluto is at, a powerful last gasp degree, and he's the god of wealth. And you never know. So it might not be a bad idea for you to pick up a lottery ticket, and because institutions called governments give the money to you, and that's the 9th house, and you have the North Node in the house of chunky money, you might get some lottery money. It might not be a bad idea to play a lottery, know your limit, and play within it. It's so simple. Don't go overboard. And honestly, you're lucky anyway. Jupiter in the career house till next June. You are on your game in your career. But we love this energy here, particularly for also being dharmic. 1, 5, 9, putting you on course to your true north. Look at this as an opportunity also to be super creative if you're an artist or an entrepreneur, to amplify some new ideas you have in those areas of your life, ideas of Mercury, because those ideas can bring you great profit in the future. So there you go. We're going to move us back by a day so that you can show you the moon in the right place. Okay. Okay, here we go again. And we're moving forward by the next sign, which is 1 hour. So next we're going to talk to you, Libra, sun, moon, and rising sign folk. This is a big, beautiful last in a lifetime Earth trine. Pluto anchors it for the last time in your 4th house of home and property and real estate, Thursday through to Saturday. And it is about legacy wealth. Are you going to inherit money? Because that could be part of this transit, especially Libras in the last 25 to 29 degrees, but all of you could still get some money. Or, you find an oil well under your house, or you find a chunk of gold under the soil of your garden. There's riches in them, their soils of your home and domicile and where you live. And what we have up here is the chunky money. Well, you don't earn this directly. It's not like through your daily paycheck. Inheritances happen here. Spousal shared assets, and including divorce settlements, happen here. 8th house money can be a tax rebate, insurance payout, money you share in an investment for a stock investment or a bond, or money you share with a shareholder, right? Or money you share with those kinds of monies, royalty income, passive income. You share the royalty income with the book publisher, right? It's not just all for you. In fact, you get hardly any of it. So ultimately, this energy is like, where is this surprising, exalted moon? It's very intense, but very powerful. Chunky money coming from, connected to the matters of the 4th house. So again, mom, dad, family of origin members may give you some money. They don't have to necessarily die to give you money. That's still not always like that. We do have Saturn here in the house of sickness, opposite the house of hospitals. An elder parent, grandparent type can bring you some money coming through the sky this week, Thursday through Saturday. And you are looking at the sun and Mercury anchoring the 12th house. And the 12th house has to do with secrets, backroom deals, and negotiations, and things going on in the very non-public, private part of your life, as well as the 4th house, as well as the 8th house. A lot of this is going on behind the scenes. A lot of people in your life don't know about the money, surprise, or goodness unless you tell them about it. But if you happen to want to use that Mercury sun as well, and you're an online entrepreneur and you make money from foreign companies, or you're employed by a foreign company to your natal country, you could have some good news coming through the sky. They want to give you more money, a performance bonus, a chunky money, or if you make money online, and then your PayPal Stripe account is going crazy, cray cray, and you're filling up a whole bunch of money in that account. That's possible too. Okay. And possibly you could sell a home, but you might do it to buy a home in a foreign country or sell your home to a foreigner. These are themes Thursday through Saturday. It would be okay to put your house on the market under this influence as well. If you wanted to sell a home, to list it under this Thursday through Saturday sky could bring great profits to you, even if the agent tells you that it's a dead market. So I would list under this energy as well. Moving onwards to the second half of the zodiac as we go through Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and rising Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and rising sign. Lasts in a lifetime, right? Pluto finishing up his long journey through 16 years through your third house of siblings, younger, especially one younger. Third house of short distance travel, skills-based education, the online world, the neighborhood and the neighbors, and all those extended family, aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces, and nephews. Lots of death here since 2008, I bet, in that area of your life. Lots of transformation in that area of your life. But this time, Pluto's in his last salvo, and he wants to help you out by giving you an exalted moon Uranus surprise in the house of your significant marriage partner. Positive surprise. And in the house of your business partners and your audience and marketplace. And this third house involves the social media world. So social media, online world stories as well, connected to surprises with audience, marketplace, significant marital type relationships and business partnerships connected to your 11th house of pennies from heaven, karmic rewards, actualization of your hopes, dreams, and wishes. Now, Sun Mercury up here could be information, news, phone calls, or emails from some person in the colleague workspace, somebody in one sibling older than you, somebody in your large social networks and groups that gives you some kind of exciting connection, phone call that has resourceful financial goodness for you. And you don't mind it's flowing to you. So one of your colleagues or an ally, a friend who really likes to support you, gives you an email, phone call, text Thursday through Saturday, and it's going to benefit you and your marriage partner or your long-term committed love partner. Can you meet somebody new under this? Absolutely. A friend introduces you to somebody Thursday through to Saturday, and you're off like to the races, and it's in a local environment, right? Or it's in an online environment. And this is a new love story, an exalted moon with Uranus. It surprises you. It's outside the box. You always said, I only date brunettes, or I only date guys taller than me, or whatever you think you only do. And suddenly Uranus and moon exalted surprises you with the type of new relationship you discover as a singleton coming through your sky. And now if you're with somebody, this could literally be their surprise, like your main squeeze. It's got some surprising news that's going to benefit you in the way you experience a sense of financial abundance or karmic rewards and cosmic rewards coming at you. There can be an opportunity to travel shorter distance with a main squeeze love partner, or meet one new in a travel setting or in a large group setting as well, like you're traveling to a seminar, an educational thing, or something like that. Those could occur here as well, especially with Mars up here in the 9th house of foreign lands and Pluto in the house of short distance travel. This is a travel axis, and some of you can have some really exciting, surprising news around travel as well coming up Thursday through to Sunday. If you're trying to get money out of a lawsuit and judges and courts are involved, this could be a turning point for mediation or an exciting opportunity to close out that situation and have financial gain from legal machinations and lawsuit stories, especially Jupiter here in your house of chunky money. It would come from a settlement in a lawsuit, but also from inheritances as well. And that's true for you until next June. All right, we're moving to Sagittarius. Give me a minute. Somebody said on my channel they can't listen to me because I slur my words. And I have never thought that I slur my words. I mean, well, maybe if I'm drinking wine at night. But if anyone has any, maybe they meant talks too fast. Maybe they're from another country and they didn't know how to express what they meant to say. And here we have Sagittarius. I'm trying to enunciate Sagittarius. Hit the like. If you're in the live premiere, hit the like button, subscribe, and don't forget to share my videos. And I appreciate all of you in the live premiere with me watching the video. Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising sign. Certainly the sky is opening up this last in a lifetime grand earth trine that Pluto in the second house of money, earnings, savings, resources is going to try to bring you some financial goodness from this. There's no way that, but you're going to not get it. Now, since 2018, this trine has been reoccurring more or less. When Uranus entered Taurus and Pluto was still in Capricorn, you were having some whole sign trines since 2018, every August, September. So you're not unused to it, but this is a nice last time and it's very tight with an exalted moon. So money, earnings, resources, savings, job, work, and work issues, and career are the houses. So for you guys, you're really looking at some golden expression of good financial or reputation or material success, rewards, and prosperity connected to work. But there's also a possibility of some good changes in your dietary habits and style, especially with Pluto in the second house of what you eat or put in your nose or mouth. And surprising changes of food style can come to you. And don't forget, the moon can represent digestion or what brings you comfort. And so a lot of food changes all of a sudden, shockingly, surprisingly occur in your life Thursday through Saturday, or you could adopt new food styles that will bring greater health and turnarounds and shocking, surprising turnarounds in your health, especially related to lunar matters, digestion, mammaries, breasts, mammary glands, for example, hormones, perhaps. The most easy and simple way to delineate this is really, it's quite a lot about your career. But, I will mention with Saturn in your fourth house, a surprising opportunity to purchase your dream pet, a surprising opportunity to rent out a property as a tenant or as a landlord. And Thursday through Saturday, those things are blessed as well. And that's because Saturn has a kind of connection point to all of this. With the Mercury and Sun at the top of the sky, this is classic like news or information about career and reputation. So sun can be boss or authority figure. So this is classic raise, promotion, getting the job you wanted, getting the interview for the job you really hoped to get an interview for. There's a gorgeous, like lucky, beautiful opportunity energy advancing you forward in a good way coming up through your sky. And that is beautiful and lasts in a lifetime. So grab it. I would apply for a job under this. I would set my resume in Thursday through Saturday. I would take the interview if it was offered to me in that time frame. I would ask the boss for a raise, claim your self-worth and self-value, Pluto, and say, I need to be paid more for this work. And you'll get probably a yes out of it. Those are ways to use this energy effectively. Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising sign. The sky says last in a lifetime grand earth trine that involves Pluto in the sign of Capricorn. 2018 till now, you've been seeing this energy play through the sky. That's because of Uranus's help here, probably actually 2019, but we're just going to say that it's going to be gone, right? And so this is a time, last time, that you can harness this energy of Pluto moving through the house of you. Yes, since 2008, you've been transformed, you've been dying and being reborn. Uranus since 2018 here in your fifth house, and the sun, of course, every year up here. These are Dharma houses. These are 1, 5, and 9, and it's about putting you in alignment with true north, your compass, your pole star, your original medicine while you're on the planet. So at a deep level, it aligns you back to your reason for being born. On a practical level, you are powerful, you are authoritarian, you are Plutonian, you are oligarchical, you are mafia boss, hopefully not in a good way. And you are also able to extract sudden and shocking and surprising exalted moon rewards from the house of lottery wins, good fortune, money surprises, from the house of children and pregnancy and fertility. A few thoughts for you. The moon is, in this part of the chart, very powerful. She's exalting the fifth house of money, luck. And because the moon also rules the seventh house of partnerships, you may have money luck through or with a business partner, marriage partner, or client. or the actions of the business partner, marriage partner, or client. But if it's not money luck, this looks like your child gets pregnant and you become a grandparent, or you hear about your impending grandparent status Thursday through Saturday. Or if you are of the age of conception, like you are a male or a female who would want to make a baby, there could be a baby making story here. And you find out you're pregnant Thursday through Saturday, or you conceive a child Thursday through Saturday. And in the sky, just seeing that you have this energy of an exalted moon in the fifth house. It's not a bad idea to take some risk when it comes to speculation. You may buy a lottery ticket. We may do the horse races or casino, or bet on a winning team. I'm not advocating gambling, so keep that in mind, and do be reasonable. This is general bell curve astrology. Your natal chart matters a lot. But you could also buy an investment, a speculative investment, okay? Because the sun rules your eighth house of stocks. But you have to be really careful in today's stock market. It might have a radical or irrational upswing before it crashes to the floor next spring. And you want to be really careful about what kind of investments you think are safe for you. If you're single, this could bring in a new romance, an exciting, passionate new romance that really is powerful and transformative. You would meet this person through educational settings, travel settings. Most likely educational travel settings. You can meet somebody new under this very powerful earth trine and fall in love with an exalted love partner that shocks and surprises you, because again, Uranus says outside the box of the kind of love affair that you normally think you want to get involved in. Something about this would be freedom loving, original, inventive, but different than the normative for you. Not your type, so to speak, right? It's good luck if you have a legal affair and you need to resort to, the judge and finalizing legal matters. And the god of lawsuits is in your seventh house. So you could finalize a lawsuit, and you could finalize spousal separation agreements under lucky skies and positive skies this Thursday through to Saturday. All right, Aquarius. Yeah, I am indeed one of you. Sun, moon, and rising Aquarius folk. This is going back to 2008. Of course, Pluto is his last day here in the sign of Capricorn, but also 2018. That's when Uranus entered for the first time into Taurus. And it's really kind of like the 2018-19 through to now timeframe that you've had some loose whole sign trines here between the sun in Virgo over here in the house of chunky money, with Mercury always trailing close behind or close in front, and also here, your fourth house of home, land, and real estate. So I like to use me as an example because I can tell you my life because I know it well. This could indicate for me, like starting around 2018, some erratic changes of home, right, with Uranus, and I'm always changing my home now, but also some ability to generate some significant wealth, Pluto, and chunky money here, Virgo. So, for example, sold an investment property in 2018, or I did, or, was able to maximize some stock gains in that time, surprisingly, or receive some inheritance monies during that time frame. I kind of, didn't get the inheritance monies, but got some other financial gains through real estate, land, and property. And so some of you could have some sort of a surge of luck around real estate, home, land, and property that surprises you with an exalted moon. And then here, chunky money. I don't know, guys, because opportunity to pay off a debt, buy a home, sell a home, receive some unexpected money like an inheritance or money from a spouse, even past or present. It doesn't matter. We do have retrogradation going on with Pluto and Uranus. Money from a past spouse, money owed from alimony, that back pay comes at you, money coming from a client, an audience member in a big chunk. A client says, I love what you do. Let me just give you a massive tip. This is small things, but they can feel good. And this is Thursday through Saturday. That exalted moon gives it such potency that it could be some opportunity for a sudden radical direct new change of home Thursday through Saturday. And with Mars in the house of tenancies and rentals, and he's the god of ending and severing, possibly a surprising end of a rental opportunity that you're in as a tenant or a landlord. and or changes of rental terms or rental situations at home. I do think, though, with Jupiter, the god of luck, in the house of good luck, good fortune, in the house of lottery wins, and of course that flows up to or talks to the Sun Mercury, there is a chance for some of you to win money off of the sky. So don't discount that. The moon is the ruler of what Mars is doing, and she's exalting Uranus. So you could win money and have an exalted new home because you're going to rent a palace or something. I'm not sure, but it looks fantastic on the financial front. For houses 4 and 8 can bring it into your realm of experience, money, legacy, wealth, inheritances. 12 is money generated from far off foreign shores and lands. Do you work for a foreign company? Do you have international borderless income as a digital revenue producer? You may have a sudden jolt of financial revenue, a big swill the money, guys. A big surge of money coming at you Thursday, Friday, and Saturday that surprises you. I guess Sky Reader doors closed for me for the early bird, $2.99 price coming up this Saturday. So maybe it's gonna be a last rush in the door Thursday through Saturday of enrollment, right? Like, oh my God, this is like, how happy is this? You're finishing out a story. You're not going to be doing this anymore. You're no longer going to be working houses 4, 8, and 12. And lastly, those are enlightenment houses. And Uranus is a pineal gland, and the sun is your deepest soul, and Pluto is death and rebirth. And I've been having 3 enlightenment episodes since 2008 when he entered in here. So if you're looking for enlightenment or spiritual truth and knowledge, or you want to have an awakening at the soul level, you may have a Thursday through Saturday blast of enlightenment hit you, and take all the glory of that you can get. Because we all need to wake up from the matrix dream, etc. And I don't mean political awoking or waking. I don't mean being woke culture either. And finally, Pisces, sun, moon, and rising sign, you are going to experience the last in a lifetime Pluto in the sign of Pluto in the sign of Capricorn since 2008. And since 2018, Uranus here, and this is your 11th house of karmic rewards and good spirit. And this is your 3rd house where we have a whole bunch of stuff. I'll get to that. And this is your 7th. These are relational and ideas houses. They are karma houses. You are looking like you're going to have the potential for great favors of riches and power and support from a friend, a benefactor, an ally, a colleague, or a sibling one older than you. Pluto in the 11th house. And you also may have a great gain from the 10th house of career, because that's the gains, the 2nd of the 10th that come from it. So a great bonus gain, reward, payout, escalation of financial gain, of reputation gain from your career Thursday through Saturday, but reminding you that you also have to pay attention to this surprise element of Uranus in the 3rd house and connected to an exalted moon, especially a female aunt, uncle, cousin, niece, nephew, or sibling can give you an exalted ability for travel plans, educational opportunities, pennies from heaven, financial reward, like a gift from the sky through a sibling, like aunt, uncle, cousin, niece, or nephew. And what about your 7th house? That's your marriage and your long-term committed live in love life, monogamous, committed, cohabitational, or legally married people. And it's also your business partners and audience, now clients, etc. Interesting with Mercury here. He's the news god, and the news comes from outside of you. You're Saturn, you're heavy, solitary, serious these days since last year, since March, and will be more backboned than your normal wobbly fish, less indecisive, more clear, and more stern about life, stoic, until 2026. This is your Saturn transit every 29 years here. And your disposition is like, immovable, right? Like you're like the sea rock, right? That the mermaid sits on. You're not the sea anymore. You're not the fishies there. You're the rock. And this sea rock that you are looks across the way, and there's some surprising news coming from this house. Now, this house has many meanings. Again, spouse, client, audience member. It's positive. It feels good. You're excited. It can be prosperous for you. It could involve travel or legal contracts or agreements. But there's another thing I would say, depends on, how many siblings you have, right? But this is also a sibling house. It can be the sibling that is three under you, like three younger than you, or it can be the sibling that is three older than you. And if you have siblings that far above or below, they can bring the surprising news as well, that seventh house. And it's literally Mercury, legal contracts and negotiations in a legal house. And so if some legal agreement regarding work or regarding travel or regarding education or regarding third house matters, social media, online world, writing projects, and success and surprising success Thursday through Saturday. If you are with a long-term partner, this partner is going to deliver some good news, basically. And with Venus and the shared resources with you and the partner, it's around the money you share with that person. So if you have a spouse, right, or a long-term love story that you share your money together, that partner can be delivering positive news. And if you're in a dispute, like around separating marital assets, this could be good news that is going to work out and that you're going to get Venus here, your share, your fair share of the separation, divorce monies. And especially if there's money connected to land, home, property, and real estate with Jupiter here and Venus here. So shared monies, land, property, home, and real estate, legacy wealth. For you guys, this can be also news that you're about to inherit some money. But it might require you to travel. It might require you to connect with siblings or aunts, uncles, cousins, or, they're all embedded in surprise. I've got some inheritance money coming at me. And there is a surprise here, right? It's Uranus. It is not something you didn't expect. No, I'm not suggesting siblings are dying and giving you money. Just be clear on that. Jupiter in the fourth house is usually parent or grandparental wealth can come your way for some of you, and maybe a bit of a surprise. All righty. I hope that's useful. I hope that you find this to be an interesting time as this last in a lifetime grand trine whips through our sky Thursday through Saturday, and then we're done, and we don't get this energy again in our lifetime. So look for my Eclipse video that came out on Sunday and the one about a week and a half before that. I'll try to pin them to the comments in the description box below the video because that information is useful. Eclipses aren't about what happens this week on Tuesday, Wednesday when the eclipse is happening, but rather what unfolds in the 3 months to 6 months that follows this eclipse. So that's why it's worth listening to now. No matter what, you can keep listening to it. It's about a longer story. Thanks for listening to my video. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Join me in Sky Reader on the last week of September. Early bird discount ends on September 23rd. Rush into those stores before that closes. $2.99 instead of $3.33. And all the information and the codes are in the description box, and I'll try to pin the information to the top of the comments. I hope to see you there, and thank you for listening. And I'll be doing my next video on the solar ingress that's coming up on Sunday, the 22nd, 23rd, both that time frame around there. The sun is going to move into Libra on the 23rd, which is Sunday. And we're going to talk about what that means for the next 3 months of your life based on your rising sign and how it connects to the larger story of the world at large, because it is the part of the sky that represents a section of reality, a 3-month section of reality from what began in the solar ingress chart of the sun moving into Aries on the spring equinox in March. So we have the March, April, May into June, and then we had the solstice chart, and then we have the fall equinox chart. And so we'll be showing you how that plays out during an election year and also in your own life, because it gives you a 3-month tonal quality of the next 3 months of your life. All right. And we'll compare that to the big picture. Think nested Russian dolls. The big Russian doll, the giant Russian doll at the top of the story is the Aries ingress chart. And I'm going to share that over with you again. I already covered that back in March. And then this little Russian doll is October through to the winter solstice in December and what it can mean for you. So stay tuned for that chart reading coming up. And I'm probably putting that out on Thursday of this week. Big hugs, everyone. Stay tuned. More to come.